Hi everyone. So I'm doing something a little bit different today. We're going to be talking about a woman. Um, Reason I'm going to be talking about this woman is because women are often disregarded in this type of genre. They're to be seen and not heard, and so this particular woman wasn't one to be seen and not heard, and her name is Griselda Blanco. Now, she only stood about 5 feet tall, I believe, and people were terrified of her. She successfully pioneered a Miami-based cocaine drug trade for nearly 5 decades, from the 50s to the early 2000s. And she was known as La Madrina, the godmother. And she ran her empire with an iron fist. So this is an early picture of Griselda. She was born in 1943, and she started a life of crime actually at an early age when she was just 11. She allegedly kidnapped a little boy from a rich family, and when they didn't pay the ransom, she shot him between the eyes. And one of the DEA agents at the time said he didn't think that the fact that she was a female trying to prove something had anything to do with her violent behavior, because people used to say, "Oh, she does it, just so that men respect her." But he felt it was just inherent to Griselda Blanco, and this goes back to her life and the way she was brought up. She's just a violent person. So because of a lot of abuse at home, she lived in Cartagena, and then onto the streets of Medellin, where she survived by pickpocketing and prostitution, selling her body, because she ran away. She ran away from home at 14, and so she eventually emigrated to Queens, New York, with her second husband, Alberto Bravo. This is another picture of her when she was younger. And that's when they started their own cocaine dealing network. Her client list was huge. She had Hollywood stars, all the top athletes, and she finally moved on to Miami, and that's where she came under the FBI's radar. So when she hit Miami, that was in like the late 70s, and she was at the height of her game. She was earning around about 80 million a month. 80 million a month. I mean, that blows Michael Francis out of the water, doesn't it? With his gas thing. Anyway, everyone wanted to work with her and, work around her and whatever. So, and she was a very smart businesswoman. She really was. Of course, with the money and the fame and all of that, then, you're going to get rivals. So one of those rivals was this guy, Pablo Escobar. Now, they said he started off with her, that she was his protege. I don't know how true that is, but he was the biggest threat to her business. And they both went to war. They both wanted each other dead. And so, like, it was a deadly game going on. They'd send someone to kill him. She'd send someone to kill him. He'd send someone to kill her. And, it kind of went on and on and on. Kind of sounds a bit familiar, doesn't it, this? Without the drugs and the actual sending people to actually kill you, although somebody was sent to me. But in any event, Escobar basically had the upper hand because, at that time, the FBI were closing in on her, the DEA. She was going to be gone. So, that's where he stepped in. So this is another mugshot of her. So she's actually believed to be responsible for more than 200 murders. I mean, 200. I think it's way more than that personally, but there's no evidence of that, or it can't be proved. But 200 sounds a little low to me. considering. Now, her former hitman was Jorge Ayala. Now, this is Jorge Ayala, and she really, really trusted him, and he essentially ratted on her. And what he said was because the FBI really wanted to get her on murder. They wanted to put her away forever. But and so Ariella told the police that there was one shocking murder, and it was of a 2-year-old boy. His name was Johnny Castro, and his father Chucho Castro. They were after him, and so they blanketed the car with bullets. They wanted Chucho dead because he had disrespected her son. So when they sprayed the car with bullets, they missed Chucho, but they killed the little boy. And what Jorge said was that when they went back to her, she was really mad because they missed the father. But when she heard that the son had died by accident, she said she was glad that they were even. I mean, wow. Anyway, so she was captured in 1985 and sentenced to 3 concurrent sentences of 20 years. But she ended up only having to serve 10 years. And the reason for that was the same guy, Jorge. Now, I don't know if this was planned or not. It may well have been. It sounds like it to me, but he had struck up some sort of relationship with 2 of the secretaries in the DA's office, and he had sent them money that they had cashed. And so the case essentially fell apart, and he wasn't credible as a witness anymore. So she did 10 years and goes back to Colombia. She also had a son. Well, her younger son, actually, I think. And I want to say he's the only living son that's left, because the other 2 were killed in under mysterious circumstances. It's just really, it's really strange the way this stuff has gone on. But yeah, so she has a younger son, and this is him. His name is Michael Corleone. And because she was known as La Madrina, the godmother, she really took that on board. And so she named her 3rd son Michael Corleone after the Godfather, and so Michael's father actually was killed under mysterious circumstances. In fact, they said she allegedly killed all 3 of her husbands. The first husband was Carlos Trujillo. She had 3 sons with him. They were all killed under suspicious circumstances after they were deported back to Colombia, after they had prison sentences. Then she married Alberto Bravo. They went into business together. Now, they even ended up having a shootout. It was like the War of the Roses. He had an Uzi, she had a pistol, and she shot him in the head, and he shot her in the stomach. This story was later disputed. They said Pablo Escobar had actually killed her husband, but when they did an autopsy on her, they did find a old gunshot wound in her abdomen. So it's highly probable that happened. And she also invented smuggling drugs in your underwear. She would make pockets in bras and knickers, panties, and put little pockets in there, and they would get girls, get a team of girls to bring the cocaine into the United States. So before she got out of prison, however, you know, she wasn't happy about being behind bars, so she decided to kidnap this guy, JFK Jr. And, you know, she almost did. She almost got away. Well, they not necessarily got away with it, but they almost got him, because what happened is they surrounded him, and then he, as they were going to go get him, an NYPD police car went by and it scared them off. So that didn't figure out, you know, it didn't work out at all. And then the strange thing that happened, though, as well, you know, because Ayala had, you know, his credibility had been brought into question because he had been messing with the secretaries and whatever. In her case, it was just it was an odd thing. I think maybe he did that and then repented afterwards. But anyway, Griselda was eventually murdered by her own methods. She actually came up with the idea to, you know, be on motorbikes so they could shoot them and then shoot away and dart in and out of traffic. And so that's what happened to her. She was out shopping with her daughter-in-law, and a middle-aged man got up off a motorbike, walked up to her and just shot her twice, got on his bike and drove away. And a witness at the scene at the time said he was a professional. It was vengeance from the past. And as she lay dying on the ground, her daughter-in-law placed a Bible on her chest. She was 69 when she died. And basically, she'd fallen victim to the same fate that, you know, she had forced on many others. And so, you know, the moral of this story, I suppose, is now this feud that she had with Escobar is still ongoing. This is Michael Corleone. Michael Corleone has a problem with Pablo Escobar Jr. And I was given this exclusive recording of Michael Corleone leaving a message. So let's play it.
Real quick, I'm gonna tell you something. I know where you live. I know where Pablo lives. I know where his woman lives in New Jersey. I'm gonna tell you real quick, nigga. Tell me where the fuck you're at, you pussy bitch, nigga. I eat peasants. Peasants like you, nigga. I eat them for breakfast. I'm gonna tell you the truth, nigga. I'm the son of Griselda, Blanco, nigga. And besides all that bullshit, nigga, I'm from Miami, nigga. Y'all niggas on tour, nigga. Y'all niggas on tour, nigga. I'm gonna tell the truth, nigga. Where you at, nigga? So little. You can see me alone. You can see me so little, nigga. I'll eat you. I'll be fucking bitch bag, nigga. I know where you live. I can't block it. His mother, his daughter, y'all niggas bitch, nigga. Y'all niggas pussy smell like a bitch. Y'all not with me fucking cara como un patrón. Fucking bitch, nigga. I lost it, girl. Nigga, end of message.
Yeah, so it's funny how, you know, feuds and vendettas are handed down to the children. So it still continues. Anyway, that's the end of this little ditty on Griselda Blanco. And, you know, it just goes to show you could never underestimate women. My goodness, this woman was something else. She surely was. Anyway, have a